Hello, my dear grade 7 photographers. How are you? Before going to our today's lesson, let's have an activity first. I will flash a pictures and identify it if it is an old camera or a new camera. It's just easy. Just say it is old or a new camera. So, are you ready, guys? I will give you 3 seconds to answer. First picture. Correct. It is an old camera. Next picture. Great. It is a new camera. Next. Awesome. It is a old camera. Next picture. Great job. It is a new camera. And the last picture. Great job, guys. It is an old camera. So, my grade 7 photographers, what have you observed about our activity a while back? Yes, very good answer. It is all about a camera or what we call a photography. Our today's lesson is all about the parts of camera and its function. But before going to that topic, let's have some glimpse of the history of photography. Photography has come a long way in its relative short story in almost 200 years. The camera developed from a plain box that took blurry photos to the high-tech mini computers found in today's DSLRs and smartphones. The first cameras. The basic concept of photography has been around since about 5th century BCE. It wasn't until an Iraqi scientist developed something called the camera obscura in the 11th century that art was born. The first camera obscura used a pinhole in a tent to project an image from outside the tent in the darkened area. It was not until the 17th century that the camera obscura became small enough to be portable, because the basic lenses to focus the light were also introduced around this time. Even then, the camera did not actually record images. It is simply projected them onto another surface. The images were also upside down. And the first permanent images. It has begun in the late 1830s in France. Joseph Niepce used a portable camera obscura to expose a pewter plate coated with bitumen to light. This is the first recorded images that did not fade quickly. Niepce's success led a number of other experiments, and photography progressed very rapidly. Daguerreotypes, emulsion plates, and wet plates were developed almost simultaneously in the mid to late 1800s. Daguerreotype. Niepce's experiment to a collaboration with Louis Daguerre. The result was the creation of the daguerreotype, a forerunner of modern film. And take a look, my dear grade 7 students, my dear photographers, the development, history, evolution of photography. From the 5th to 4th centuries BC, where the Chinese Greek philosophers described the basic principles of optic in the camera. Until it gone through the year 1984, where the Canon demonstrates first digital electronic still camera. And year by year, by year 2000, the first camera phone were invented. Photographs could tell stories and provide evidence at the same time, my dear grade 7 students. This became the true power of photography. From the crude beginnings of a strange projector-like box named camera Obscura to modern-day smartphones and DSLR cameras, photographic mediums have come a long way. And that's it. A simple glimpse of the history of photography. Now, let's move on to our main topic, titled The Parts of a Camera and Functions of a Camera. Number 1 is lens. The lens is one of the most vital parts of a camera. This is where the photos process begins. Lenses can be either fixed permanently to the body or interchangeable. Number 2, the viewfinder. A viewfinder, you can see where you're using a camera. You can see there what could be the image or come out of your picture. Number 3, the mode dial. The mode dial for almost most cameras, yes, today have a variety of functions and automatic features. The mode dial allows you to select different options. Body, the main part of the camera. It is not, should be not be missing, or else you don't have a material to take a photo. Next, number 5, shutter button. Every camera comes equipped with a shutter release button. This is simply the button on the camera that is used to snap the picture. Next, number 6, aperture. The aperture affects the image exposure by changing the diameter of a lens opening, which controls the amount of light reaching to the image sensor. And the image sensor for number 7, the image sensor converts the optical image to an electronic signal, which is then sent to your memory card. And the most important thing in a camera is the LCD screen. It is where you look your picture and then overview your picture. Next, the flash of a camera. The flash sometimes be useful to provide a bit extra light during dim, low light situations. And then number 10, the focus ring. Film or digital DSLR camera will most likely have a focus ring. This is a ring typically found on the lens that allows manual control of the camera focus. You can decide, my grade 7 photographers, if you want the whole image in focus or just a part of it. Many cameras have an autofocus in addition to the ring focus. And 11, record button. It is where you can on and off the record or the video when you're recording. It is a button that you can on or off, or to begin and to end. Next, number 12, exposure compensation. Make the image brighter or darker while still letting the camera make its own decisions. about which settings to use to achieve that, and that is exposure compensation. It is when you wanted to become it lighter or to become it darker. And the flash button. If in your manual focus, in the manual mode, and you wanted to have a flash in a day or more light, you can just press that button and then the flash will rise up and ready to use. Number 14, the lens release button. It is a button when you can change or release your lens. Change it to smaller or change it to much bigger. Just press that button. And then number 15, the autofocus lock button. When using this autofocus and auto exposure, holding this button down will lock those settings even if you move the camera. Number 16, the IQ button. You can see Nikon camera is for the I and Q button for the Canon camera. Pressing this button brings up a set of functions on the camera's LCD screen which can be controlled directly. And for number 16, the IQ button. I button for the Nikon camera and Q button for the Canon camera. Pressing this button brings up a set of functions on the camera LCD screen which can be controlled directly. This can be useful for adjusting the ISO, white balance, and drive mode settings of the cameras that don't have dedicated buttons or dials for the said features. And for number 17, the magnify and demagnify button. For the Nikon camera and Canon DSLR, you can see there the picture of magnifying glass where the symbol of plus and a minus. When pressing a plus, you can see the picture zooming in, and the negative symbol, you can see it is zooming out your pictures. And that's it. The parts of camera and its functions. Now, are you ready for our practice time, my dear grade 7 photographers? But let me know, do you understand what is our topic all about? The parts of the camera and its function? Do you know how to use the camera now? Okay, very good. Okay, now, so you're ready. Let's move on to our practice time. Again, I will flash a pictures and then said what its part or what is the name of that part of the camera. So, are you ready? Number 1, picture. Very good. It is the flash. For number 2, great. It is the record buttons. Next, it's very easy, right? It is the lenses. Correct. Next picture. Great. Correct answer. Viewfinder. Next. Yes. Magnify and demagnify button. And that's it. That's end our activity or the practice time. Are you now familiar with the parts of the camera and its function? And are you ready to use your camera? Okay, so that's it, our lesson for today. It's all about parts of camera and a glimpse of history of photography. Thank you, my dear grade 7 students. I, Saizo Princess Aristrada, your media teacher.